Stop chasing down late payments, stop manually tracking your hours, and stop drowning in business administration work. There is a smarter way to run your business, and in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how. Thanks to FreshBooks for sponsoring this video and helping business owners take back control of their time. In this complete FreshBooks tutorial, I'm gonna be showing you how to replace your existing accounting software with something that actually makes sense. So it doesn't matter if you're using another tool or you just manually do everything in a spreadsheet. I'm going to show you exactly how FreshBooks can handle everything from basic bookkeeping. We're going to do proposals, everything to full company payroll. You really can do everything related to money and even project management right inside of FreshBooks. So whether you're just starting out or you're ready to scale, by the end of this video, you're going to have a complete system for running your business more efficiently. Let's dive in and get this thing set up. So here is the FreshBooks website. The first thing you should do is pause this video and click the link in the description to get signed up for a free trial. You'll get 30 days to try things out. You'll be able to decide whether or not this is a good fit for your business. You'll be able to follow along with this video, and you'll be supporting the channel by clicking on the link in the description. If you act right now, you can even lock in 60% off your first 6 months of service if you decide to become a paying user. Okay, once you get signed up for your free trial, you're gonna be taken to the FreshBooks dashboard. This is gonna give you a bird's eye view of everything that's going on in your business, how much money you're making, who still owes you money, time that hasn't been associated with a particular client. Really, it's a very helpful dashboard, and you can even customize it so you can see widgets that are most important to you, drag them around here, and put what's most important front and center. Now, true story, I actually started using FreshBooks way back in 2013 when I was a music instructor. It's amazing to see how much the tool has grown over the years. It's gotten even more powerful and more easy to use, which is a very difficult thing to balance. On the dashboard, I love this big Create New button. This allows you to do the most common things very, very quickly. Create a new client, add a new retainer, create a new invoice. We're gonna go through all of these in this video so you really understand all of the power that's baked right into FreshBooks. One of the first things you should do is add in your products or services that you sell. You can do that right over here under items and services. Once you're here, if you wanna sell a physical good, choose Create Item. Or if you wanna sell a service, click on this tab and then choose Create Service. Let's go through each right now. So I'm gonna create an item first. I'll choose Create Item. Now, in this example, let's say I'm a handyman and I'm going to be traveling around helping people with things around their house. I know one of the tasks I'd probably end up doing most frequently is hanging TVs on the wall, and that's going to require some physical goods. I might want to have TV mounts that I can sell. Maybe I even want to have those in-wall wire mounting kits so that we can run the cables right through the wall. Well, I'll add those into FreshBooks so that when it comes time to offer an upsell to my customers, everything's all ready to go. Okay, adding an item is as simple as filling out this form. I gave the product a name, a description, assigned it to an account, set my pricing, added in the appropriate sales tax for my area, and I even decided to track inventory. Now, I could sell these in person at someone's home, or I could create what's called a checkout link and sell them directly on my website. That way, when people went to my website to learn about my services, I could sell them the TV mount right then and there and be sure to bring it with me when I went to their project. I'll show you how to add those checkout links in a moment, but first I've got this TV mount added. There's a description. It's gonna go into my sales account. I've got 10 in stock. There's a sales tax on it, and I'm currently charging $75 for the mount. All right, I just added in a second item. It's that in-wall mounting kit I mentioned earlier. Let's move on from items and go over to services and get our services loaded in. So pretty much the same drill here. I'll just choose Create Service. And there we go. I went ahead and filled out the name, the description, and set a rate for this service. All right, so now that we've got some items and services into FreshBooks, we need to find a way to get paid. Now we could do this one of two ways. We could either use those payment links that I already mentioned. So you could put those on your website. You could send them out via text message or email, and people can click on them and make a purchase right there. That's gonna be really good for services that are repeatable. They're the exact same thing you sell to everybody, or maybe you're selling physical items, same idea. But if you wanna send customized invoices or even a proposal before the invoice, well, that's going to take a different step. Either way, you're going to want to get set up with FreshBooks Payments, as that will act as your payment processor. To get FreshBooks Payments set up, you're going to head over to Settings, and then under Connections and Integrations, choose the very first option, which is Online Payments. So here we've got two options. We can utilize FreshBooks Payments, which is powered under the hood by Stripe, or we can use PayPal. So connect up whichever method you prefer, or even both. FreshBooks Payments is very affordable. It's only going to charge 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. If you're accepting Amex cards, it's going to cost you a little bit more. And pro tip, if you're doing high ticket deals, try to encourage ACH bank transfers because that will give you the lowest rates available. Getting set up with FreshBooks Payments is really easy. You just need to provide a little bit of info about your business. If you choose to connect up to PayPal, you'll have to have a PayPal business account already, and then you just give FreshBooks access to that account so that they're able to talk to each other. Once your FreshBooks account is set up to receive money, we can go ahead and start charging our clients. So I'm going to start off with one of those checkout links because I just think they're so cool. So right over here under payments, I'm going to choose checkout links, and I can create a new checkout link right here. And now I can add an item or service for the checkout link. So in this case, I'll do the TV mount. There's a settings area for the checkout link, so I can choose which payment methods I want to accept and whether or not I need a shipping address. You can also choose your currency and whether or not you want to receive notifications. When everything looks good, go ahead and hit create. And there we go. I've got a link. I can copy this to my clipboard and use it wherever I like. Emails, websites, text messages, you name it, I can charge people anywhere that I am. This is what the checkout link will look like, very clean and simple, so your customer can just enter in their information and hit the pay button. Now, let's say you offer something a little bit more bespoke where you need a customized proposal and invoice for each new customer. Well, FreshBooks has got you covered there. Let's start off by looking at proposals and then we'll transition into invoices. So you're going to want to click over here where it says estimates. This is where we can create an estimate or a proposal. What's the difference? Well, I think estimates are a little bit more concise. Proposals might have more detailed information about exactly what is included. So if you're doing something a little bit more elaborate, probably best to include a proposal. If it's something very simple and straightforward, an estimate will probably do. Now, keep in mind, the work we're doing right now is going to make it very easy to get paid in the future because we can convert our proposal or our estimate right into an invoice so our customer can pay right then and there. So I'm going to click on the big green button and choose Create New. And I can choose between an estimate or a proposal. I'll choose proposal for now. So here is the editor, very clean and simple. Now, the first thing that I want to do is add in some branding. So I'm going to upload our logo here. I can click on this box. I could drag and drop it as well. All right, here we go. My logo has been added, nice and clean. Now, the next thing I need to do is assign this to a client. Now, I want to add, there is a menu item specifically for clients. So if you've got a lot of existing clients on another platform, you can export that list as a CSV and then just import them directly into the client section over here under more actions. Just import your clients, and that way you'll have everybody already inside of your FreshBooks system. Okay, back to our proposal. Now, remember, we need to assign this proposal to a client, and I haven't added any clients to my account yet. So we can create a client right here from the proposal screen. I'll just choose Create Client, and then just enter in your client's information. So I've got first name, last name, email, and phone number here. Now let's go ahead and build out our proposal. Notice this little item right here that says add a section. If I click on this, I can add in a chunk to my proposal. Maybe I'll start off with an overview. All right, so I'm writing my overview. I'd like to add in a photo here, no problem. I'll just go to a new line, choose the little photo option, and drag and drop my photo in. And I can even resize it if I'd like. And then you can continue to add more sections to your proposal. You'll notice there is a pricing section here. We can add sections before or after the pricing section, but of course you do need to have a pricing section, so that is non-negotiable. Once your proposal is all fleshed out, you're gonna wanna make sure you add in the products or services that you're proposing. So I'm gonna go ahead and click here, add a line. It's gonna find all of the items that I just added in a moment ago. So I'm gonna suggest we do the actual TV mounting service. And I'm going to try to sell the TV mount as well as the in-wall mounting kit. Okay, so now my proposal is looking pretty good. I've got each item added to the pricing table. I could continue to customize it with more sections. Maybe I want to require a signature here and I add in some verbiage about liability to ensure that I'm not responsible for any damage that might happen while working on the home. Well, I could certainly add in a section down here. I'll call it a blank section and I'll say liability. And I'd get my lawyer to go ahead and write this section up and then require a signature right over here. This way, when I go into a new home, the expectations will be very clear about what's going to be included in the service and what's not going to be included in the service. When my proposal is all done and I want to send it off to my prospect, I'll click up here where it says send to. I can write a little message right inside of FreshBooks if I like, or copy the link and include it in whatever form of communication the client is expecting. So here is what my proposal will look like to my customer. You can see it's nice and professional. They can download a PDF here if they like, or just go ahead and print. And if they want to sign, they can do so right here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and confirm this signature. It says I've accepted the proposal, and now I have a link to create an account so that I could log in as a customer and see the progress that's been done on my project. Now, back in the administrator view, I want to make sure I get paid before I begin working. The client has just agreed to the proposal, and now I need to create the invoice. So I've got my proposal right over here, and it's very easy for me to convert this to an invoice with one single click. And there we go, the invoice has been created. Now I just need to go ahead and send this to the customer so they can go ahead and make their payment. We've got a lot of options over here to the right, very similar to what we saw with our payment link, but even more in depth. Of course, we can choose which types of payments we want to accept, but I think the most important part here is that we can send reminders automatically, so that way if someone forgets to pay, they'll automatically receive emails to let them know. We can even charge them late fees if they are too late. To set up late fees, just check this box, choose the amount that you'd like to charge, let's say 10% of the invoice value, and that late fee will occur after 30 days. Now, if you're gonna charge late fees, you should definitely set up those automated reminders. So let's do that next. I'm gonna click right up here and I'll check the box to set up the automatic reminders, and then I can set up any schedule that I like here. So we've got 3 days, 15 days, and 30 days. I think that sounds pretty good. I'll go ahead and accept that. Now, when your estimate is all ready to go, it's going to be just like with the proposal. You'll click up here where it says send to, and you can either write a message to your client right here or copy the link and send it in your own email application. And voila, the link has been generated. I can copy it to my clipboard and then send it to my client. Here's what that invoice looks like. We can see the total right at the top. I've got my payment options. I can go ahead and fill in my info and make a payment right here. Down below, there's even a copy of my invoice, which I could download if I wanted to save it for my records. Now back over in my dashboard, I can already see that I've got $333 outstanding. So it's good to see that I've got some income coming in. All right, so we've gone ahead and created a proposal and then transformed that into an invoice. But what if we didn't want to start with an estimate or a proposal? Creating an invoice is just as easy. Just head over to Invoices right here and choose New Invoice. The builder is going to look almost identical to the proposal builder, but you won't have the sections to describe things. You'll simply just add in your items right here and you'll be able to send them off. Now, what if you want to actually accept installment payments or maybe subscriptions so people could pay you every single month or every single week? To do that, let's go back into the main screen here. I'll cancel out of this invoice and we can create what's called a recurring template. I'm going to click on recurring template here and create a new one. Now, this is not a template in the traditional sense. Instead, it's a template that will be used over and over again to bill a specific client. So what you do here is fill it out just like you would do for a one-time invoice. So I'm going to bill Susie, and you know what we're going to do is show up at her house every single month and install another TV. So we'll add a line here and we'll do a TV mounting subscription. I know this doesn't make sense. Go with me. Now over to the right, I've got some different options here. The one that's most notable is the recurring schedule. If I click on this, I can set up how often people will be charged. So by default, it's set to be monthly, and I can set up a specific number of payments to make. So leave it on infinite if you want a subscription, or set a specific number if you want to do installments. So let's say I really want to charge $800 for my TV installation. Well, I could do 4 payments of $199. The invoices will go out automatically by default. You can change that if you like. When you're done, go ahead and hit save. And now every single month, Susie will receive another invoice until she's all paid up. Okay, so far we've been focused on products or services that have a flat fee. But what if you charge based on your time? The good news here is that FreshBooks can track your time and allow you to bill by the hour. Let me show you how this works. The easiest way to do this is to set up a project which the work is going to take place in. So let's head over to projects right here, and I'm going to create a brand new project. I have the choice between a flat rate project and an hourly project. I'm going to create an hourly project, and this is going to be a website design project. I'm making a new website for a client. We'll use Susie again as our example here. And if you had specific team members, like maybe a designer that you wanted on this project, you could assign them right here. All right, I went ahead and I added a description for this project as well as an end date when I think it's going to be done and the total number of hours that are going to be involved, at least an estimate. Now, I've also added down here a new service that I created when the cameras were off. So that's looking pretty good. The only thing that's left is to go ahead and modify my settings over here on the right. These are some pretty important settings because it has to do with how much you're going to get paid. Okay, so it's an hourly project. We're charging based on the actual amount of time that we work, and this is an estimate of total hours. Now, down here, I can set my billable rates. Currently, I have it set to be a flat rate of $100 per hour. But what if I had a designer that charged me, I don't know, $50 an hour, and I was going to charge $100 to my client, and a developer that charged me $75? Well, I would want to make sure that I was billing a little bit differently depending on who was working on the project. So for that, I could go ahead and choose service rates. And for website design, I could charge $100. If I had another service called web development, I could charge $150. Or you can even set rates based on specific team members if you prefer to do it that way. To keep things simple, I'm going to leave it at the hourly rate of $100. A few more important options here. We have cost rates. So this essentially sets up how much each employee is going to be receiving based on their billable hours. Now, it's important to note that this is only visible to you. Your clients won't know how much you're paying your employees. And the last option down here that I want to point out is to set up your expense markup. If you want to keep your healthy margins, make sure you add a little bit of cushion by setting up an expense markup. Here I've set it to be 20%, but you can do whatever makes sense for your business. All right, when everything is looking good, go ahead and save the project. And the next thing we need to do is actually log some time. So for this, head over to the time tracking section. Now I want to point out that there is a dedicated mobile app for FreshBooks, which will allow you to track your time there. But if you're in the web view, you can simply add in time manually right here, or start a timer when you begin working. I'm going to add some time in manually, so I'll choose manual entry. I'll choose my project. It's going to be the web design project, and I'm going to log some web design hours. Let's say I did 5 hours. I can choose the date when it was actually accomplished, add any notes if needed, and then go ahead and hit this green checkbox. Now, when I've logged enough hours that I actually want to get paid, I can go ahead and generate an invoice from my unbilled hours. So you can see here, I've got my log of time and it says unbilled. So I can simply generate an invoice right here. I'll choose the 5 hours that I just entered in and hit continue. Next, I need to review exactly what I'm going to be billing the client for. The default settings here are going to be just fine because it found the 5 hours. I could set a date range if I wanted to. Maybe you don't want to bill them for work that was just completed, but you want to bill them for last month. You could set that up and then add that to your invoice. And then it's just like any other invoice. We can see the time that was spent. 5 hours at $100 an hour. The total is going to be $500. I could go ahead and send this now, generate a link. You get the idea. All right, so that's how you can actually get paid with FreshBooks, but there's so much more. So let's speed run a few other very important features. FreshBooks does expense tracking. So head over to expenses here and you can actually connect up your financial institutions. So your credit cards, your bank accounts, it will pull in all of your expenses here and then you can categorize them so that when tax time comes around, you are ready to go. The easiest way to connect up your accounts is just to go over here where it says bank connections. Then you find your bank. It supports 14,000 financial institutions, and it will pull that all in for your bookkeeping needs. Of course, you can do things manually as well. You can add in your bills, your vendors, and even upload your receipts right inside of the tool. They even give you a custom email address so that you can just forward any invoices you get right to FreshBooks from your email. Super handy. Okay, so now we know we can get paid with FreshBooks. We also know we can track our expenses by linking up our bank account or doing things manually. So that's everything we need for full-blown bookkeeping. There's actually an accounting section right over here. Inside of this, you'll be able to add your bank account and then go ahead and do full-blown bank reconciliation right inside of this tool. This is going to replace the need for any other accounting tool. You'll be able to do full-blown reports that you need for your taxes, for potential investors, or just to get a bird's eye view of the health of your business. So I'm talking about a profit and loss report, a balance sheet, and even a cash flow summary. There's more reports than just accounting reports, by the way. We can head over here to the reporting section, and this is where you can find out which products are most profitable in your business or which clients are generating the most revenue. There is a ton of different reports here, so you can see exactly what's going on with your business. And finally, I want to mention that FreshBooks also does payroll. It works with Gusto either via an app integration right over here on apps. You can link up your existing Gusto account if you have one, or you can go over to Payroll here. If you've never had payroll service before, you can get set up with FreshBooks Payroll and do payroll right inside of FreshBooks. It does have an extra fee. It's $40 a month plus $6 per person, which is a very good rate. I think it's even better than what Gusto charges themselves. This is going to be full-blown W-2 payroll. You'll be totally legit. Now, they don't recommend it for huge teams. They say 1 to 5 employees, and I think that's a pretty good place to start. So that's everything you need to know about getting your business organized with FreshBooks. Definitely check the link in the description to get your account set up now. If you have any questions about FreshBooks, hit me up in the comments. I'll be watching those, see if I can help you out with anything I might have missed in this video. My name is Dave. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.